Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive on something a little different, Phuket real estate.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about, those picture-perfect beaches that everybody thinks about. We're going to go a little deeper for you guys because you are interested in maybe investments, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at this article
Okay.
called Exploring the Hidden Gems of Phuket, a guide for savvy real estate buyers. See if we can uncover some good spots for you. That might be your ticket to paradise and profit.
All right. Let's go to Thailand.
Exactly. So, to start off,
Hmm.
Phuket's real estate market, it's booming right now. But why is that? It can't just be the beaches.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating how it's become. Beyond just a vacation spot, it's a serious player in the global real estate market now. And you did mention this in the intro, but foreigners can actually own property there.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's not something to hear. I
Yeah.
mean, so besides the beaches, what is it about Phuket
Yeah.
that is making it such a hot spot for real estate?
Well, I think the beaches definitely help. But Phuket's economy is a huge draw too. Tourism just keeps growing. Foreign investments are pouring in. They've been developing these incredible luxury marinas, and that's attracting, a whole new wave of these high net worth individuals. And that's driving demand, especially for like high-end properties.
I see. So it's all connected.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned that foreigners can own property outright, that's pretty unique, right? It's not like that everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of places you have restrictions or you can only lease, but in Phuket you can actually own the property.
So no restrictions to worry about.
Nope.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and there's a huge range of properties there too. You can get, those luxurious villas like you're imagining, but you can also get these sleek, modern condos. So something for everyone's taste and budget.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Options. All right, so the article mentions 4 locations that they call hidden gems, starting with Kamala.
Okay.
What makes Kamala so special?
Well, if you can think laid back, peaceful, stunning ocean views.
No.
That's Kamala. It's like that tranquil beach town where you can find those beautiful villas that are literally just a stone's throw from the beach. But you're not totally isolated. There are restaurants and shops around,
Mhm.
so you can get your fix of civilization.
So it's like the best of both worlds.
You're right.
Peace and quiet,
Yeah.
but,
That's
all the convenience.
exactly.
Now, what about Rowai? It seems like kind of a hot spot for expats and retirees. What's the vibe like there?
Urwai is all about like authentic Thai charm. It's on the southern tip of the island, and it draws people who are looking for a more relaxed atmosphere, maybe a slightly slower pace of life.
Okay, so the article mentioned that it's more affordable than other areas of Phuket.
Yes,
Nice.
definitely.
Yeah.
That's a big part of its appeal, especially for those who want that real Thai experience, but maybe without breaking the bank. It just shows that Phuket's not just for the ultra-rich. There are options there for a range of budgets.
That's good to know, because sometimes when you think of these,
Yeah,
these island paradises, you think of crazy expensive real estate.
exactly.
So that's good to know. All right, so now let's talk about Surin, the Beverly Hills of Phuket.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm already intrigued.
As you might expect. Surin attracts a very high-end clientele. So we're talking about villas with private beach access, panoramic views of the Andaman Sea, and all the upscale restaurants and boutiques you could possibly dream of. It's just a very luxurious lifestyle.
Oh, man, sign me up. Okay, last but not least, we've got Nai Harn. It kind of sounds like you can get the best of both worlds there.
Yeah.
Natural beauty with all the convenience.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Nai Harn's on the southern tip as well, and it boasts one of the most beautiful beaches in Phuket. But here's the interesting part. While it's got that tranquil atmosphere, Valen prices are still surprisingly competitive.
So you get the peace and beauty without the crazy price tag.
Yeah, basically.
That sounds like a win-win. Now, before we get carried away dreaming of owning a piece of paradise, let's talk about the practical stuff. What does the article say about actually navigating this market? Any advice for someone seriously thinking about investing in Phuket?
Yeah, so the article stresses the importance of finding a reputable real estate agent,
Wow.
someone who knows the ins and outs of the local market. They know the laws. They can guide you through the whole process and make sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially in a foreign country. You want someone in your corner who knows what they're doing. What else?
Due diligence is super important. Don't skip this step. You need to check the property ownership, a land title, any legal issues that might be lurking. Just make sure everything's legit before you sign anything.
Yeah, you don't want any surprises down the line.
No, you don't.
And of course, location, location, location. It always comes back to that, right?
It always does, yeah. You really need to consider what you want out of your investment. Do you picture a peaceful retreat? Do
Yeah.
you want easy access to amenities? Maybe you're thinking long term. You want to rent the property out for income?
Yeah, so really think about your goals before you even start looking at properties. What about the financial side of things? Anything we should be aware of?
Yeah, so the article reminds us that beyond the property price, there are other costs. Transfer fees, taxes, maintenance fees. They can really add up. So it's super important to have a clear budget and factor those things in.
So no impulse buying a villa.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so we've covered some of the unique advantages of Phuket. We talked about those hidden gem locations
hmm
and some practical advice for investors. What stands out to you the most so far?
Well, I think what's really fascinating to me is how Phuket offers this unique combination of things. You got the beauty of a tropical paradise,
Yeah.
you've got a stable and growing economy, and you've got a legal framework that actually welcomes foreign ownership. It's a pretty compelling package.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Actually, there's a thought-provoking point in the article that I think our listeners should know about.
Okay.
It talks about leasehold versus freehold ownership.
Oh, yeah, that's a crucial distinction to understand.
And it's a little more complex than just, buying the property outright.
Right, it is.
So we should probably unpack that a bit.
Desperately.
So in Phuket, you can own property, either freehold, which means you own the land and the building, or leasehold, where you're essentially leasing the land for a set period of time.
Right.
Now, leasehold sounds a little tricky. What does that mean in practical terms?
So basically, with leasehold, you don't actually own the land. You're granted the right to use the property for a certain duration of the lease, which is typically 30 years.
Yeah.
But it can vary. And there are options to renew, of course.
Okay, so there's like a time limit involved.
Right.
What are the implications of that? Especially for someone thinking long term, maybe they want to leave the property to their heirs.
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's where things can get a little complicated. Inheritance laws for leasehold properties can be different from freehold. And those renewals I mentioned, they're not always guaranteed to be straightforward. There could be negotiations involved, increases in fees, or even a risk of the lease not being renewed at all.
So there is some uncertainty there.
Definitely.
So what would you say to our listener who's thinking about maybe dipping their toes into the Phuket real estate market?
Don't jump in blindly. Leasehold can seem attractive, especially because the initial costs are often lower than a freehold, but you need to weigh those potential long-term implications. Think about your investment goals, your timeline, and whether you're comfortable with that uncertainty that comes with leasehold.
It's all about being informed.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm guessing this is where expert legal advice comes in.
Absolutely. A lawyer who specializes in Thai real estate law, they can walk you through the specifics of the lease agreement, explain your rights and obligations, help you avoid any potential pitfalls.
All right, so do your homework, get some professional guidance. It seems like Phuket's real estate market is full of opportunity,
Yeah?
but it also requires some careful navigation.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a very dynamic market. It's changing rapidly. So being informed is definitely the best way to approach it.
All right, so we've uncovered some of those hidden gems, delved into the complexities of leasehold versus freehold, but our deep dive isn't over yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to explore investment potential, sustainability trends, even the impact of technology. So stay tuned for part 2. We're going to unpack everything you need to know about investing in this tropical paradise.
All right, so welcome back. We are deep in our Phuket real estate exploration. I feel like I've learned so much already about the different locations and about the whole leasehold freehold thing.
Yeah, it's a really multifaceted market, and we've really only just begun to scratch the surface.
Yeah, because we talked about, doing your due diligence, making sure everything's legit, understanding the ownership structures. But I'm kind of curious, beyond just buying and holding a property, are there other investment avenues in Phuket?
Yeah, for sure. One option that's becoming increasingly popular is investing in off-plan properties.
Off-plan properties.
Yeah.
What's that?
So that means buying a property during its development phase, often at a lower price than what the finished product will be. So you're kind of buying into the potential of the property before it's even built.
Exactly.
That sounds kind of risky.
It can be, yeah. There's always a risk with anything like that. You could have delays, changes in plans, even the developer running into financial difficulties. But for those who are, willing to take on a little bit more risk, the potential rewards can be pretty significant.
So higher risk, higher reward. So
Exactly.
even more due diligence required there, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You want to research the developer, their track record,
Yeah.
the specifics of the project, make sure it all makes sense.
Before you jump in,
Yes.
okay, so what about the rental market in Phuket? We talked about it briefly before,
Hmm.
but I want to learn more about the potential for generating income from rentals.
Yeah, Phuket's got a thriving rental market, driven by the tourists, of course, and also the growing number of expats who are, choosing to make Phuket their home. There's demand for both short-term and long-term rentals. So that can provide a steady stream of income for property owners.
I see. So you could buy a property and then rent it out
Yeah.
to tourists or to expats who are living there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great way to maybe offset some of the costs of owning the property.
Right.
But are there any challenges involved with that?
Well, managing rental properties, especially if you're doing it from afar, it can be challenging. You might want to think about working with a local property management company to take care of things for you.
That makes sense, yeah. To handle the bookings, the maintenance, the tenants, all of that.
Are there certain types of properties that are more popular in the rental market?
Properties near the popular beaches, for sure. Ones with good amenities, easy access to transportation. Those tend to be in high demand. Condos are really popular, especially those with kind of a resort-style feel
Mm-hmm.
for tourists who are looking for that hassle-free vacation.
Okay.
And then larger villas with multiple bedrooms, private pools. Those are popular among families or groups of friends.
Makes sense. So the article mentioned something about sustainable development.
That's something I'm always interested in. How is sustainability playing a role in Phuket's real estate?
It's a growing trend. There's definitely a growing awareness among both developers and buyers about the importance of eco-friendly practices. So you're seeing more and more projects incorporating things like solar panels, rainwater harvesting systems, energy-efficient designs.
That's great. I love that developers are, being more responsible. But is there also a financial incentive for them to embrace sustainability?
There is actually. Besides the ethical considerations, it's actually becoming a selling point. Buyers want properties that align with their values. They're willing to pay a premium for homes that are environmentally friendly.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah,
People are becoming more discerning about, where they're living and how they're investing their money.
definitely.
So it sounds like sustainability is no longer just a trend. It's becoming the expectation.
I think you're right. Yeah.
We can't talk about evolution without mentioning technology.
Right.
How is technology shaping the real estate landscape in Phuket?
Well, it's playing a huge role, especially in terms of marketing and property management. So you've got these online platforms now, connecting buyers and sellers from all over the world. It's making it easier to browse properties, schedule viewings, even complete transactions remotely.
Wow, so you don't even have to be there in person
Right.
to buy a property.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's wild.
And then on the property management side, technology is streamlining all the processes, making it easier for owners to manage their properties, communicate with tenants, track their rental income. Things like smart home systems, automated booking, online payment platforms, it's all becoming much more efficient and transparent.
So technology is really simplifying the whole process.
It is, yeah. And I think that trend is just going to continue. We'll probably see even more innovative solutions.
Coming in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this part. We've explored those investment avenues, the rental market, sustainability, technology. But I feel like there's a piece missing, like the human element.
Yeah. You're right. We haven't really talked about what it's actually like to live there.
Exactly.
Like the culture, the lifestyle.
Yeah, because we can talk about beaches and numbers all day long.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the people, the culture, that make a place feel like home.
Exactly.
That's what I want to know about.
Okay, so in the final part, we're going to delve into the heart and soul of Phuket, the culture, the communities, the lifestyle. So stay tuned for part 3. We'll complete our journey into the world of Phuket real estate.
Welcome back to our Phuket deep dive. We've done the numbers, the locations, even the tech stuff. But now I'm ready for something a little more, experiential.
Ah, so you want to get a feel for what it's actually like to live in Phuket.
Exactly. Beyond the contracts and the spreadsheets, what about the culture, the
Yeah.
everyday life? What makes Phuket so special for the people who call it home?
Well, the article talks about this incredible cultural melting pot. You've got the traditional Thai culture, of course,
Yeah.
deeply rooted in Buddhism, respect for elders, strong sense of community,
Yeah, I've always heard about the Thai hospitality.
Oh, that's amazing.
and the importance of community.
Yeah, and then you layer in the influence of expats from all over the world. who have, chosen to make Phuket their home. It creates a really vibrant and diverse social scene.
So you get like the best of both worlds?
Yeah, you can experience authentic Thai traditions one day and then be at like an international art exhibition the next.
I love that. Okay, so enough about the people. What about the things to do? I mean, the beaches are a given,
Right.
but what else makes Phuket a lifestyle destination?
Oh my gosh, where do I even begin? So beyond those postcard-worthy beaches, and there are so many to choose from, bustling ones, secluded ones, you name it. Phuket's a nature lover's paradise. Lush rainforests, hidden waterfalls, dramatic limestone cliffs. You can go hiking, exploring, or just find a quiet spot to relax and soak it all in.
You're speaking my language. I love it. Okay, what about the food scene? Thai cuisine is world famous.
It is.
So I imagine there are some culinary treasures to be found in Phuket. Oh, absolutely. The food scene is incredible. You've got your street food stalls with authentic pad thai and curries. That will blow your mind.
That.
And then you've got fine dining restaurants, putting a modern twist on those classic Thai flavors.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. But let's get practical for a second. What about infrastructure? If someone is thinking about living in Phuket, are there good schools, healthcare, that kind of thing?
Phuket has really stepped up its infrastructure game in recent years. There's a modern international airport, well-maintained roads, reliable public transportation, excellent healthcare facilities, international schools. It makes it very attractive for families.
Okay, so it sounds like it offers a really high quality of life
Yeah,
with all the conveniences you would expect.
definitely.
What about safety? That's always a concern for people moving to a new country.
Yeah, Phuket has a really good reputation for being safe and welcoming. The crime rate is relatively low, which is a big draw for a lot of expats. Of course, you always want to be aware of your surroundings, no matter where you are. But generally, people feel really secure and comfortable in Phuket.
That's good to hear. Okay, so something that's been on my mind. Throughout this whole deep dive, we've talked about investment, the scenery, the culture, but what about tourism? Phuket is a global hotspot. How does that impact daily life for residents?
That's a great question, and it's definitely something to consider. Tourism is the backbone of Phuket's economy. It brings in jobs, investment, but it can also be a double-edged sword. The influx of tourists can put a strain on resources, infrastructure, and there's also the challenge of preserving Phuket's natural beauty and cultural heritage amidst all that development.
So finding that balance is key.
Yeah, exactly. It's an ongoing conversation in Phuket, and something potential residents should be aware of.
Okay, so for our listener who's been on this journey with us, what's the final takeaway? What advice would you give them as they consider taking the next step?
Well, I think Phuket offers an incredible blend of opportunities and challenges. The key is to go in with your eyes wide open. Do your research, understand the market. Don't just focus on the financial aspects. Think about the lifestyle, the culture, and whether it aligns with your own personal values and goals.
That's great advice. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive. Hopefully our listeners feel like they got a real taste of what it's like to live and invest in Phuket.
It's been a pleasure talking about this with you.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this adventure. Remember, investing is a journey, and the most important thing is to be informed and make choices that feel right for you. Until next time, happy exploring.